Check, check. Check, check. Welcome to LA Press Box, everybody. We're glad you're with us as the Dodgers continue their three-game series against the Kansas City Royals tonight at Dodger Stadium. Whether you're blacked out, away from a television, listening on the road, or simply looking for a deeper way to follow Dodgers baseball, LA Press Box is your live game companion. The Command Center will give you the live numbers all throughout. We have many iterations of that. And our job is to identify the recent trends, pitching matchups, tendencies, and stories. The Dodgers opened this series with a badly needed 6-5 victory yesterday. Kansas City jumped ahead 3-0 against Tarek Skubal, who struggled a little bit, at least by his own standards. He was disappointed when he had to come out in the fifth inning after giving up three runs. But still a solid outing, and of course enough for the Dodgers to be able to make it work and get over the hump. But LA did have to fight its way back and eventually took the lead in the seventh inning. The Dodgers finished with 6 runs on 10 hits without hitting a home run, and that's something that's encouraging. Although it'd be good if Freddie Freeman, who's got a nice hitting streak going and a high batting average, could get back on the home run track too. We've kind of been spoiled by him. But that was yesterday. Tonight brings an entirely different storyline, and that is the return of Blake Snell. Yes, Blake Snell, 2-time Cy Young winner, and so, of course, with him coming back, the Dodgers have 2 pitchers, and they happen to be pitching back-to-back in this case, that have each won the Cy Young Award for Best Pitcher in baseball twice. And so hopefully what's happened over the last 3 games with 2 wins out of 3 for the Dodgers is the beginning of a very different trend than what they've struggled with recently this season. Over the last 10 games, of course, they do have a losing record. But there are signs that LA might be finally beginning to stabilize. Most importantly, the Dodgers have won 2 of the last 3, and after a 7-game losing streak, their longest of this season, really they're starting to string together some run production at a time where they need it most. Previously and recently, they've had too many isolated scoring opportunities. And their starting pitching has struggled, especially giving up the long ball early in the game. And the bullpen has had to really get a lot of wear and tear on those arms. And so hopefully starting pitchers can go much deeper um, into the games. And we're hoping that that's what happens with Blake Snell. But that's going to be a big question mark because, he's been out for so long and he hasn't pitched deep into a professional game in quite some time. But yesterday was encouraging. The Dodgers fell behind. They didn't panic. They have a lot of veterans on their staff. They continued creating base runners. There were a couple of times where Freddie Freeman singled and brought home Shohei Ohtani from second base. Max Muncy had a huge 3-run double late in the game with the bases loaded and 2 outs. So they did an awesome job clawing their way back in and getting over the hump, as we said before, even after they had a lead, lost it as a result of one of their relievers coming in and giving up a home run. As far as Kansas City Royals, they are still bottom feeders, frankly. They are one of the 4 teams with the worst record in baseball. So, of course, this is a golden opportunity if you're a Dodger and a Dodgers fan. But Kansas City is no pushover, and they showed that yesterday. What they have been plagued by is inconsistent offensive production and relying on or having to rely on more than a couple of people, namely the batters in the top 3 spots. The first spot and the third spot, as we're going to go through again tonight, will be the same lineup for them. Really plagued the Dodgers. Scooble had a terrible time with them. And their leadoff hitter got on base 4 times yesterday. And that's part of the reason the game was so close. But let's go ahead and take a look at the defensive side of the ledger for the Dodgers over my shoulder. So, of course, as we said before, Blake Snell gets the start. And he doesn't really have a sample size for us to be able to say, oh, okay, here's his record, here's his ERA and all that stuff. Really small sample size that goes back to right before he was hurt. And there's a reason he took that time off. He wasn't effective and he was injured. In terms of the defense, tonight Hunter Fiducia gets the night off. And they go with Ben Rortvedt behind the plate. They kind of alternate these 2 new guys behind the plate for the Dodgers that they acquired because of injuries right before the trade deadline. Freddie Freeman will be at first base. Tommy Edman at second. Mookie Betts at third. Mookie Betts at short. Max Muncy at third. Alex Call is getting the start in left field, and that's surprising. Andy Pages in center and Kyle Tucker in right field. But as usual, I would not be surprised if the Dodgers pinch hit a couple of people and played them before too long come off the bench. As far as what that defense and Blake Snell is facing, you have some stubborn hitters at the top of the lineup, but as you can see in terms of where they rank in the league, they're very, very mediocre or below the midpoint in terms of rankings in many batting categories. But the top 3, as I said before, were they're big trouble last night for the Dodgers pitching staff, not just Tarek Skubal. They'll be led off by Nick Lofton at third base, who, as I said before, got on base all 4 times yesterday, scored a couple of times, and has outstanding speed. And the thing that really is challenging for the Dodgers is they don't show somebody with a really good arm behind the plate, and I don't think they will until Will Smith comes back. If he does this season. I know that recently he just resumed some baseball activities, and that's hopeful because I wasn't even sure if that was going to happen. But hopefully we get him back at least in time for the playoffs. The second spot is Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop, and he did not get a hit last night, but boy, he turned in some spectacular web gems from the shortstop position, and I can see firsthand now why he's been a Gold Glove winner more than once. Caglianone was a long ball hitter and a double hitter last night. He really plagued the Dodgers, just like he did the Cubs in the recent series. Salvador Perez is going to be the DH, batting in 4th. Carter Jensen, the catcher, is in 5th. Michael Massey, playing second base, is in 6th spot. Tyler Tolbert is in left field, the 7th spot. John Rave in right field. And then bringing up the rear is Kyle Isbell in center field. So as far as Snell goes, the big thing is, and the Royals know this, is, that he doesn't know, we don't know until he takes the mound, what his stamina is going to be like and how deep he can go into this game, because he has not pitched Major League game in months. And In terms of his recent outings as far as rehab goes, they have not been really full, complete games. So the Royals know this as well as the Dodgers do, and what this batting order is going to try to do is make him earn it and have long at bats. Ideally, what they would do is not swing at pitches that are close early in each at bat on the edge of the strike zone, force him to throw strikes, and really try to get him to get his pitch count up very early in the game. As far as the Royals go, I presume his name is pronounced Michael Waka. I don't know if that's like Fozzie Bear, Waka Waka. Um, I don't follow the Royals very much, but he's got, as you can see, a 5-8 record, an ERA of 3.44 and a WHIP of 1.15. And he's got an okay ratio of strikes to walks. You can see the defense behind him, which we just profiled, and you can see the Dodgers just below that in terms of how they've been for a really long time. And that is ranking at this point in almost every batting category in the top 5 in the major leagues. This is something that has not really been indicated in their performance when they've struggled recently, but maybe we're at the beginning of a turnaround. Last night, of course, they scored 6 runs, and this is what we say all the time. They have to be able to average 5 or more runs on a regular basis to be able to expect to win. In terms of the batting order tonight for the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani will be in the first spot, as pretty much always, as the DH, and you can see, because it's highlighted in gold on our command center, that he ranks in the top 20 in every offensive category, including home runs with 26 and RBI at 72. Freddie Freeman also is in the elite category for average OBP and OPS. He's at 308 right now, and he's batting 300, maybe 301 lifetime as a major leaguer. Andy Pages will move down into the 3 spot since Freddie Freeman is moving up into the 2 spot tonight. His batting average is 270, and his RBI is 76. Not exactly sure if that's because Andy's done a decent job with runners in scoring position, so Dave Roberts is thinking, I want to put him down the lineup with maybe Freddie ahead of him, because Freddie's just been kind of a base hit machine lately, and he's not the most fleet of foot, of course, but if Freddie's going to be on base, let's move him along with somebody behind him. Kyle Tucker is going to move up into the cleanup spot in right field, and he did a nice job yesterday coming in for Teoscar Hernandez, the perfect time, even though all he did was draw a walk. When he did, that led to Max Muncy, who is batting in 5th spot, and he's playing third base. Muncy's been clutch, and last night happened to be Max Muncy bobblehead night, and so it was well timed when he hit a double, like we said earlier, with 2 outs and bases loaded. 6th spot is Mookie Betts. Then he'll be followed by Tommy Edman batting 278, Alex Call 246, and as we said before, Ben Rortvedt is behind the plate batting 250. So the key for the Dodgers, as far as this matchup goes, is understanding that Waka is not going to try to overpower them. He's an off-speed pitcher. He tries to mix up his pitches. He tries to mix up timing and location, and that might actually be a really good thing for the Dodgers, because ironically lately they've really struggled with hitting the fastball. So this could portend well for them, but only time will tell. And with about 5 minutes left, we want to go ahead and welcome people into the chat and give you a couple of poll questions. We're not going to do this one. We'll do this one. Who do you think the Dodgers should have be the hero tonight? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's Ohtani, 2 if it's Mookie Betts, and this could be offense or defense, or maybe both. 3 for Freddie Freeman, or type of 4 if you think it's somebody else. Hey, Alaska's in. Congratulations on your move back to California, and love to see you back in the chat. I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing this, Alaska, but if you can tell us what part of California, would love to know that. 2. Mookie Betts. All right, I like that. You know, Mookie's he's been a little bit less Mookie-ish lately at shortstop. He's made a couple of it's been a couple of plays where it looked like he was going to go for the ball and he didn't get there, or he like checked up. Sonora. Wow. All right. Well, welcome to Sonora. But yeah, Yosemite's beautiful. I know. A couple weeks ago, went on a camping trip with my kids to Yosemite and Bass Lake. So that is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to put a vote here for Alaska on Mookie Betts. Come back to this later, perhaps. One more poll question. How does this game end, you think? Last night was a comeback, which was awesome. Number 1 in the chat if you think the Dodgers are going to have a comeback. Number 2 in the chat if you think the Dodgers are going to just hold on. So have the lead and hold on to it late. 3 if they end up playing extra innings, and they did that a couple of games ago. Or number 4, God forbid, the opponent wins. So 1 in the chat if you think it's going to be a Dodgers comeback tonight. 2 if you think the Dodgers hold on. 3 for extra innings. And 4 if the opponent wins. I can't put 4, but I don't fault you if you think it's going to be 4. I think the big question mark is whether or not Blake Snell can go deep into this game, because that's the question no matter who the starter is. Ooh, okay. Dodgers hold on. You know what? I'm kind of feeling the same thing. Really noted. All right, we are once again at about a minute or two. Yeah, a minute and a half until first pitch. So this is a perfect time for everybody that hasn't yet. Go ahead and grab a drink or your favorite snack or both. And I am going to get ready with the 3D. And I'll be back shortly. All right, everybody, we are loading up, and we're about to see, as the catcher throws down to second base, the return of Blake Snell. One of the many reasons people hate the Dodgers, because they're jealous that we have Blake Snell and now Tarek Skubal, 2 different pitchers that have won Pitcher of the Year twice. So Nick Lofton to lead off, and he was on base every time last night. What's cool is the 3D is mirroring the Royals uniforms, and I like the baby blue. You know, I'm a traditionalist, and of course, what they would normally wear is royal blue. Needless to say, that fits. And the very first pitch of the game, Lofton challenges. And he's correct because it was a ball. This one is definitely in there for a strike, and the early count to Lofton from Snell is 1-1. Now, one reason I'm partial to baby blue, of course, is because of my Bruins. That's a whole nother story, although I'm excited. I'm excited about UCLA football this season. That's a whole different story. The new head coach, you brought in a ton of new players from a school that made the college playoff last year. I know a leader. I can see it from a mile away, and this guy's the real deal, this head coach. But in a couple of weeks, we'll start to cover not just UCLA football, but Rams football, because this is LA press box. It's not just Dodgers press box. We will not lose sight of the Dodgers. We're just going to have to pick up the pace, and we're going to have to be a little more selective in terms of which Dodger games we broadcast, because we can't do everything all at once. But Snell starts Lofton with a full count. And the lefty's pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and a strikeout already with the first batter on a changeup that got him way in front. And so that's one thing that's different tonight. Lofton will not be on base every single time. And so now Bobby Witt Jr. comes up. And in a little bit, we're going to be joined by one of my family members. It's his birthday, so we're going to wish him a happy birthday. But he's not in yet because he's a hard worker. And so he's going to do it on a break. But I'll give people word and maybe tell a story or two when that happens. And just like that, 3 pitches and 3 strikes and another punch out from Blake Snell. So 2 batters, 2 strikeouts already. Whew. Now, I mean, Bobby Witt Jr. did struggle last night, so who knows, where he is. But this is going to be the big indicator right here. 3-hitter. Caglianone just plagued us last night. Kind of owned us. And owned the Cubs, too. What I've been told by our insider, Rogelio Johnson. Boy, but Snell looks really good right now. Not just the end result of striking out the first 2 batters, but just really good control, looks comfortable and confident, and just in a rhythm, not like spending a lot of time in between pitches. And the early count here to the 3-hitter is 1-1. And that one swung on and missed. Wow, he's making these guys look bad early. Whew. On 2 pitch on the way from Blake Snell and swung on this strike 3. First 3 batters, all strikeouts. Welcome back. Could not have happened too soon, Blake Snell. Thank you very much. And we're going to go to the bottom of the first, and the Dodgers set to come up. Glad you like the voting, Alaska. I'll put this up here again real quick for anybody that's just joining right now. So we have a quick poll about how this game's going to end. Put 1 in the chat if you think the Dodgers are going to make a comeback. 2 in the chat if you think the Dodgers will hold on for the victory late. 3 if it goes extra innings. And 4 if the Royals are going to win. So 1 for Dodgers comeback. 2 for Dodgers holding on. 3 extra innings. Or 4 if the Royals, God forbid, win this one. Glad to see Van Nuys representing. Rogelio, have the Cubbies played today? Okay, another 2 in the chat. Okay, that's the consensus, and I would say 2 as well. That's what I voted earlier. So I'll add your vote to the 100% so far. And Ohtani swings right away, and he's flying it without any trouble for it to be played in left center. And that'll be the first out of the inning. And Freddie Freeman coming up in an unusual spot. Usually bats in third. Dave Roberts moving him up to second. And I'm guessing it's because he's hit so many base hits lately. In the last 17 games, Freddie Freeman is batting .429. It's also the span of which he has a hitting streak. And the early count to him is 1-1. Cubs beat the Nats, huh? Nats have a couple of good bats. Hey, there's my sister. Hello, little sis. Michael Waka Flocka. Waka Waka Waka. It gets Freddie Freeman to chase a bad pitch and strike out. So the 3 hitter is up. Andy Pages batting .270 with 19 home runs. And the first pitch swung on and hit not past the umpire. That's the charm of the 3D glitches. Actually hit past Bobby Witt Jr., who just kind of muffed it. That is so unlike him. I mean, he made amazing, amazing plays last night, and that's just not like him, although it did come off the bat really hot. And shortly, my brother will be joining us. It's his birthday, and we're going to surprise him. I gotta say, sister, heck of a softball player. Heck of a softball player. So 2 outs, and Andy Pages gets on with a single, or an error. And Kyle Tucker comes up, who's moved up in the batting order to the cleanup spot, and fouls that one off. So the count's 0-1. The next pitch, grounded to second base, and Massey is able to get over there and cover it up before it goes into right field and make the throw to first, and 3 away. So 1 hit, and Andy Pages is left on. At the end of 1, we're still scoreless with Kansas City at 0 and the Dodgers at 0. right, you just saw it. Salvador Perez is hopefully the next victim of Blake Snell. And Perez is the DH. Thick man. But only has 16 home runs on the season. Too bad the 3D is not accurate enough to give the right body proportions on this. And I'm not making fun of the guy. I mean, just is what it is. He's only batting .214. And this one is fly to center field, but Andy Pages is able to round it up no problem and throw it back in. So another out for Blake Snell. So far, so good, making quick work of the Royals. And that's going to bring up the 5-hitter Jensen, who's batting .226 with 16 home runs. 55 RBI. Fouls that one off, so the count's 0-1. Pitch on the way. High for a ball, and the count's 1-1. Next pitch, fouled back. And Jensen already in the hole. Hey, Ro, what was the score of the Cubs game? I know. We had quite the charming neighborhood growing up, and the characters, not all of them kind. That one misses just a little bit high and inside. But when we were kids, there was Queenside Drive, and there was Coolfield. And Roe and his brother lived across the street from another pair of brothers. As that one is swung on and missed for strike 3. Another punch out already for Blake Snell. 4 strikeouts. And that's going to bring up Massey with 2 outs. Oh, 8-6. And this one's flied. First pitch. It's shallow left field. But Alex Call and Andy Pages are both there. And so 3 up and 3 down again. And we're going to go to the bottom of the second. And the score is still 0-0. But Roe and Lamar were brothers across the street from Tommy and Adrian. We're not going to mention Paul and Bruno. Oops. We did anyway. That was a notorious brother group. Then there was Dave and Billy. That was they were characters, good athletes. And then Caesar, a.k.a. Julio, is on the Queen side part of the crew. And you know what? I should have reached out to Ricky. I wasn't even thinking about that. But some of the old neighborhoods coming in to give a shout out and an appreciation to my brother when he's on break. And he promised me he'll let me know. Paul and Bruno, scary. Them, their dogs, just walking by their house. Guys, Generation X, we're the real ones. Because we're left on our own. And it was not always a good thing. Oh, man. It was not always a good thing. Sometimes because we made poor decisions, sometimes because of the decisions of others who we had to survive. Generally in the neighborhood, though, we knew when it was time to come home. I mean, there were no cell phones, of course, at that time. Are you kidding me? There were two in our neighborhood. There were two indicators. One, most Gen X kids had. The other one, they did not. And of course, at our house and some of the other houses, we had one of those sensor lights in the front. So when the sun went down, it would just kick on. And the big thing was, you better get your butt home in time. When that light comes on, you're home. And then the other thing was Ricky's mom yelling for Ricky, which reverberated across the entire neighborhood in both directions, both our street and Rose Street. They were uniquely positioned. We all knew when it was time for Ricky to go home. And I should send this. Let's see, what is this? Middle of the second. I should send this recording later to Ricky, and they can reminisce a little bit. So Max Muncy comes up, and right now nobody's gone on base for the Royals, and the Dodgers have had one on base and weren't able to do anything with Andy Pages on. Muncy had a huge double last night to bring home 3 runners with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Dodger Stadium was rocking and rolling. I mean, it was a Monday night. I think they had close to 50,000 fans. They were trying to will the Dodgers to a win. An early count to Muncy after he fouls that off his 0-2. And this one's grounded to second base, and Massey once again hops to his left and makes the play for an out, like he did last inning. So that's going to bring up the 6th hitter, Mookie Betts. Only batting .229. And he has 13 home runs. And swings at the first pitch. This one's going deep to left field, and count that, home run 14. And Charlie gets to celebrate. Mookie Betts jumped all over that, and he's not really known so much for his power anymore, but that one he got all the way around on. The fact that he was able to pull it means that he was able to uncork all of that veteran power and drive it over the fence. So the Dodgers strike first. And with a 1-0 lead, Tommy Edman, the 7-hitter, comes up, batting .278. Thank you. Charlie loves you too. He's actually sleeping on the floor behind me. In fact, Alaska might want to see him. Alaska, put in the chat if you want to see Charlie. You deserve it after moving back to California. That pitch misses low, and the count is 2-1 to Tommy Edman. Edman made an amazing play last night. He was in left field where Alex Call is tonight. And he fouls that one off. There was a ball hit to his right, and he completely sprinted with that rehabbed ankle and laid out and made a catch in the air that should have been a triple. That was one of the key plays that saved the game for the Dodgers, and even the guy who hit it smiled at that play. This one swung on, and it's hit to right center, and it's going to drop in there for a base hit. And so we're going to have ourselves a Dodger dance. Atta baby. Way to do the Freddie, Tommy. All right, I'll show Charlie at the break. So Alex Call comes up, who's been able to, he's gotten sprinkled into the lineup by Dave Roberts. And, I'm kind of optimistic about him as a young player. He's done some good things this year. He's batting .246. And he's got some wheels. This one gets lined to right field. Almost dropped in, but a nice job by the right fielder getting there and making the catch. It is a little surprising that Alex Call is getting the start in left field. I don't have any issues with Teoscar Hernandez sitting. I have not been happy with him lately. Both his effort sometimes in the field and then just sloppy at bats. But I wish Miguel Rojas was starting. I'd rather see Tommy Edman in the outfield and Miguel Rojas at second base. Miguel Rojas is batting over 280, and he does a great job in clutch situations. So Ben Rortvedt comes up, catcher. Hey, and the man of the hour, the man of the day's in. My brother Troy Gideon. Perfect timing with the catcher up, because I was just thinking of Troy's nickname when he played baseball and he played catcher. And anybody else that's around waiting to wish Troy a happy birthday, now's the time. He deserves it. Hard-working man, class man that's both professionally and personally always looking after other people. And he's just been like that his whole life. And it's crazy what you can see. This is a good time to be thinking about that connection with sports. It's crazy what you can see when it comes to the connection between like little kids in sports and how they carry themselves and how they end up later on. As this catcher looks at the ball inside and counts 2-2 to him. And I've seen this as a coach for a long time, especially as a football coach, as well as both in college and high school, as Rortvedt swings and misses for strike 3. But at the end of 2, it's the Dodgers won, and they strike blood first. Draw blood. Royals still scoreless. But like I was saying, as a college coach, but also a high school coach, I've seen it from both sides and seen like who these people are. That's just how they're going to continue to be once they go to college, whether they're athletes or not. And when Troy was small, it was a perfect example. Just always like the best, most helpful, thoughtful teammate, really unselfish. A lot of times, because he's my younger brother, people would play him at positions because I was, a decent athlete that they thought he'd be good at because he was my brother, and it wasn't necessarily always the case. I mean, he was a really good catcher. I played catcher too, but never complained. And, whether somebody decided to give him like the coach's award or, team spirit award, whatever that whole category is, or not, like he could have won it every time in any sport that he played. So whether it was baseball, wrestling, football, it's, something that's carried with him through his 80 years of life. Hey, Kaizen. Atta baby. And Bridge. Thank you for tolerating my brother for so many years, Bridget. Oh, you said it already, Deb. It's gonna be a quick it's gonna be a quick question. The poll question was, what was Troy's nickname when he played catcher? And you already put it in the chat. Oh my gosh, the Reds, the best team I've ever been on. No team ever was better. Pound for pound, age for age. The Reds in Little League, as Snell goes back to work. And he's going to face Tolbert here, 7-hitter, who's batting 314. But the real ones know, as they say. Um, and what's cool is how, at the same time, you emulate the teams of the day. And so the Big Red Machine was a big thing with Pete Rose and everybody else. And so one of the things that happened, because in Little League, in our Little League, Northview Little League, I played on the Reds, and so did the other kids. Some of the other kids in our neighborhood. Troy played on the Reds as well, and that was one of the routines we had as kids. Um, Tolbert looks at a couple of balls, so that's uncharacteristic for Snell early. But we would have somebody tell the story of the Big Red Machine before we took the field to play a game. And I recently found our coach, who must have been, I mean, he was 19 at the time, 20 maybe. And one of our teammates, his younger brother, who's on the team, has been an outstanding head baseball coach at South Hills High School in Covina, where we grew up. And so asked him, Darren Murphy is his name, help me reach out to his older brother, who was one of our coaches, Kevin Murphy, as this one is lined right to Max Muncy, and he catches it, no problem, for the first out of the inning. And I mean, when we were on the phone, one of the first things he said is, "How's Froggy? How's the frog doing?" And it was just awesome. And it doesn't matter if it's Little League and it's a million years ago, or it's in college, or high school. It really doesn't matter. Every time I've been fortunate enough to, as a player or as a coach, to be a part of a team that was really excellent, like those Reds, you'll always have a bond. Always have a bond. And one of the things that was really important for me to tell Kevin Murphy was that he and his dad, because his dad was technically the manager and he was kind of the class behind the operation, but Kevin was like right there in the front lines, is that they set an example of what excellence looked like for me the rest of my life. And you can't really buy that. You can only see it and experience it. And it wasn't just like we were good and we had talent. There was a culture. Every single guy had a nickname. We had a guy named Tony Martinez called the Heater. He had like sweat on his upper lip, and that's how he got his nickname. I was called the A Train because I ran somebody over once on the base paths that got in my way. It's probably too slow to slow down, right? I mean, we had Davers. We had just the whole list goes on and on. Everybody had their nicknames, and so they all felt like family together. But at the same time, it wasn't just about winning, it was about carrying yourself with class. And Mr. Murphy, always, Coach Murphy made a huge point of that. He would not tolerate anything else. And the biggest thing, as it goes with your elders especially, is, of course, he had as Rave strikes out here, wow, Snell's on a roll. Is that his 5th strikeout or 6th strikeout? And that's 2 outs in this inning. But he wasn't afraid to sit you, wasn't afraid to give you a consequence. But more importantly than that, because of the way that he carried himself, you were more scared of disappointing him. And we all have people in our lives like that. And in fact, if you want to put something, Brenda, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about Brenda Murphy. I will I'll just say this right now, beyond the Murphys, there is one person above all that made the biggest difference as a mentor and as a model of being what I wanted to be as a teacher and an educator, and a coach. And his name was Homer Smith. And putting that out there into the universe is something that's important to me. And if you have the name of a person you want to put in the chat right now and say, wow, this person was the model of how to carry myself when I was younger too, it'd be awesome if you did that. So with 2 outs, the early count to Isbell now is 1-2. And Snell delivers and just totally freezes Isbell. And after 3 innings, he's already got 6 strikeouts, 9 up and 9 down. That's exactly what the Dodgers needed. And we'll take a little bit of credit. We'll say that Troy's energy is rubbing off. It's positive energy on the Dodgers. And also the idea of having great mentors. This is one of the reasons I started this channel. So I get to bring people together, whether you're Dodgers fans or not, especially when, time kind of pulls you apart. Oh, I said I was going to show Charlie. Charlie, you want to wake up? Charlie, hey you. Charlie had a busy day. He helped me take my giant pumpkin into work. Come here, Chuck. Okay. Alaska wants to say hi. Alaska moved back to California. Okay, I'm looking at the chat now. Oh my gosh. Yep, it was totally, it was Froggy. Put this down, Chuck. Might be a little easier to show you. Say hi, Alaska. Say hi, fam. Uncle Troy's birthday. Maybe Shohei Ohtani hit a home run thanks to that. All right, I'll let you go back to sleep. Hey, go on. And Shohei looks at the first pitch for a ball. We had an all-star team. Shohei flies that, and the count's 1-1. That was not as good. That entire Little League's all-star team, I don't want to go on and on about it, but I mean, it made impact. Even though it was a million years ago. Our all-star team, when it was my age, not Troy. Troy's almost went to the World Series. Little League World Series. They were awesome. I think they got all the way, was it to the regionals? I think it was the regionals. It was amazing. My age, the Reds would have been better than our all-star team. But I remember like driving places, which seemed like super far. I think it was like to Riverside County. To us, it was like, to me, it felt like it was another like planet to go and watch Troy and his all-star team. See how amazing they were. But yeah, as Ohtani fouls that one off, and the count remains 2-2. I had a play when I was playing catcher where I had a couple of pretty violent collisions, you could say. Maybe about that in a second. I want to miss what Ohtani's doing. I'm wearing a shirt with his name on my back. And swings and misses at strike 3, so 1 out. Now Freddie Freeman's coming up. Yeah, we had a play where there was a guy at second, and I was the catcher, and there was a base hit to right field, and it was thrown all the way without bouncing home. And the sun was setting right behind right field. As Freddie swings at that one and misses, and the count's 0-1. And so, good arm by our right fielder, Dave. Different Dave than Davers. And right at the last second, I lost the ball in the sun, and it came over my catcher's glove and hit me square right here, right in the forehead, above my 2 eyes. And then I think whoever was coming home just knocked me down. Who knows? I had no clue. As that one misses inside. And the count is 2-1 to Freddie Freeman. But for a week, He lines that one to second base, or grounds it to second base, and Massey makes even easier work of that. And he has the other ground balls earlier in the game. And for a week, my eyes are completely swollen, almost shut at school. And of course, needless to say, they were black and blue. Andy Palhez swings at the first pitch, and it's going deep, but it's going to be caught just short of the warning track, a little bit right of center field. And at the end of 3, the score is still the Royals 0, the Dodgers 1. Yeah, you're not going to get any coverage of USC football this fall or ever. And needless to say, they are not going to be in any of my art, that's for sure. Finally just had a minute to let a couple of other people know that Troy's on and he's in the chat. So we might have a couple more surprise visitors. But we are here to watch the Dodgers as well. And to watch Blake Snell just dominate these Royals so far. Already back to the top of the lineup with Lofton, who, needless to say, is 0 for 1. But nobody, Royal staff, has hit Snell tonight. 6 strikeouts, no walks. Oh, that's right, the Ecklers. Why am I forgetting the Ecklers? So this is part of, wait, didn't the Ecklers, oh no, wait, that was for football. You guys got a limo or something for football. Like Pee-wee football. I think it was for football. I don't think it was for All-Stars. I can't remember. I'm mixing up my memories here. It was football because Jacques Jordan was a part of that thing, and the Ecklers. So Bobby Witt Jr. comes up again. He's 0 for 1, just like everybody else. And Snell misses with the first 2 pitches. And Bobby Witt Jr. singles to left. So he went 0 for yesterday. And the Royals were 0 for technically, although it's early. Blake Snell was pitching a no-hitter up until that point, but still on fire. However, it's only a one-run lead, and Bobby Witt Jr. can run. And this guy, Caglianone, completely torched us last night. So no lead safe at this point, that's for sure. And swings at the first pitch, and it's going to get by a diving second baseman. And right on cue, not only does he get a base hit and damage the Dodgers, but the speedy Ronnie Witt Jr. goes all the way around from first to third. And so back-to-back hits suddenly given up by Blake Snell. And big Salvador Perez, the DH, and the cleanup, who's 0 for 1, comes up with a chance to tie this thing up. Pitch from Snell to Perez, after he looks over, is poked to left field, and it's going to be deep enough where the runner's going to be able to tag from third, and Bobby Witt Jr., thinking of somebody else. Bobby Witt Jr. ties it up with an RBI fly out, sacrifice fly, and now the score is 1-1. So 2 down in the top of the 4th. And a runner at first. Five-hitter Jensen is 0 for 1 tonight, batting .225 on the season. Swings and misses at that one. Looked kind of silly and didn't even really follow through with his bat. Okay, so it was Pee Wee football, yeah. That's the one that got they had the limos for the, was it for the banquet or something? That's crazy. That one misses high, and the count to Jensen is 1-1. That's right, Debbie was a cheerleader for us. And they're going to try to steal second base, and they do, which I'm surprised they haven't tried to challenge earlier. Caglianone gets on there and is able to maintain contact. And really, either one of these new catchers, you're just kind of patching a hole for the Dodgers. Good, solid presence behind the plate, but neither one of them have really strong arms. Not like Froggy, that's for sure. He would have thrown that dude out. The Royals trying to produce even more offense here with Jensen up, and now a runner in scoring position on second base. Full count to Jensen. Gosh, Row, that's a flashback. And that one, ooh, it looked like it caught the top edge of the strike zone. And we're not going to challenge, which I'm okay with. He walks him, and so now with 2 outs, Blake Snell has runners at first and second. I'm hoping that Snell gets out of this right now, in part because we have somebody else that's trying to come into the chat and doesn't know how YouTube works. So Snell starts Massey off with a strike. Lances over at the runner. And then jams him up with a high and inside strike. Fouled back, and now the count's 0-2. Oh my gosh, that one bounces at the edge of the grass and the dirt. And the catcher tried to block the way that we would get drilled to do as young kids and as some kids, not all kids get drilled today. He had no chance to block that and keep it from going to the backstop. What in the actual heck? So now the count, needless to say, is 1 ball and 2 strikes. But with 2 outs, the runners advance. And they're both in scoring position now at second and third. Just punch this guy out, dude. Stop messing around, Snell. Next pitch on the way from Blake Snell. And swung on a miss for strike 3. Exactly what we wanted. Great job, Snell. Great job. It's either his 7th or maybe even his 8th strikeout. And so anybody like Rowe that's in LA County, you can get a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow. I think you have to purchase, I don't know if it's a small drink. You get a free Jumbo Jack. Every time the Dodgers get 7 strikeouts. And Blake Snell's not even halfway through the game, got 7 strikeouts. All right, I got to go try to help somebody get in the chat. Right back. All right, so Waka Flocka is still up there on the mound, and why wouldn't he be? The Dodgers have only scored 1 run. You know, it's a little bit like you walk through the desert and you're really thirsty, and suddenly somebody gives you like a Dixie cup of water like you get at the dentist's office. You're really grateful, and that's us as Dodgers fans lately. Just because Mookie Betts hit a home run. But 1 run ain't going to get it cut. It's not going to cut it. So Kyle Tucker's up, and he's in the cleanup position. That's where traditionally you'd expect people to be able to drive in runs. But he's 0 for 1, and he's only got an average of 242. The rose bushes and the thorns. Oh my gosh. My gosh, all these things I forgot. Tucker keeps taking his hacks. Oh, there he is. Jeff Cox finally decided that he was going to figure out how YouTube works. So welcome to him. You missed all the talk, Jeff, about the Ecklers and Troy's heyday, at least his extremely young heyday, both in baseball and in football. And this one is flied to left, but both the shortstop, actually shifted over, third baseman and left fielder were in position. And the Royals have enough speed to get there and make the catch. And it's the first out at the bottom of the fourth, and that's going to bring up Max Muncy, definitely one of the heroes from last night. He was 0-4 until he came up with bases loaded and 2 outs and hit a double that cleared the bases, brought in 3 RBI. And very appropriate when they had Max Muncy bobblehead night last night. Yes, Jeff was the technically challenged one. And Muncy looks at that one for a strike, and the early count is 2-1 to Muncy. And last night they were honoring Muncy in part because of his role in the World Series last year. This one, he grounds into right field for a base hit. And you know what that means? Time for a Dodger dance, a.k.a. the Freddy. There you go, Max. Good job. Way to get it. Max was pudgy. He's not pudgy no more. Lost like 20, 30 pounds in the offseason, I think. And he said it's making a difference. Only a couple of home runs behind Shohei Ohtani for the Dodger lead. But here comes Mookie Betts. The only person responsible for the Dodgers having a mark on the scoreboard. And he looks at the first pitch for a strike. I've been thinking about Jeff a lot lately, as that pitch catches the outside of the strike zone, and the count's now 0-2. Because I'm looking at getting a truck, used one. Jeff knows this, I just told him. And none of them would be anything like that monster truck. I don't even know what that was that he had. Did he have to have like an elevator to get into that thing? Crazy. Pitch to Muncy, sorry, to Betts, is flied really high, and it's curling into the left field corner, but it's going to be caught there for the second out of the inning. Man, it just caught him a little bit on the hands, on the skinny part of the bat, and if he was able to turn on that just another inch, that would have been a second home run for him. So Tommy Edman comes up with 2 outs and Max Muncy at first base, hoping the Dodgers can retake the lead. Swings at the very first pitch, and it's fly to shallow left. They're going to run back, and Lofton at third base is able to make that catch without really any trouble, and 3 away. And after 4, it is now the Royals 1 and the Dodgers 1. How long was that bed, Jeff? That's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get a 6.5 foot bed. I don't even remember that truck having a bed. I just remember the cab seeming like it was 3 stories up. Young kids today would definitely call that extra. That truck was so extra. I don't even know how you afforded that thing, man. It's hilarious. So Blake Snell goes back to work. He's given up 1 run, but he's got 8 strikeouts already on this night. And needless to say, it's great to see him back and to see him in Blake Snell form. We have really struggled with starting pitching for the last several weeks. So Tolbert's 0 for 1. And this one is flied really high over the head of Freddie Freeman. It's going to drop in the one spot they can't get to, and he's already booking it for second. He never slowed down, rounded that sucker, and he's in safe at second ahead of the throw in the tag, which Mookie Betts dropped. Dropped the ball. Come on, Mook. Let's see. It would have been really close if he caught it. Catch the ball. Coach Murphy would have been so disappointed. Do the basic things right. So, that counts as a double. There's no outs in the top of the 5th. And now the 8th batter, John Rave, comes up. Struck out once. And he's batting .256 with only 2 home runs as he shows bunt and then pulls back. So the early count to him is 1-0. You can see the defense is rotating down, so with a lefty, Freddie Freeman's playing on the grass, and Edman is playing over just a little bit to be able to potentially cover. And there's a big hole to the left because Mookie Betts has got to hold the runner a little bit. That one misses low, and it's 3-0. And Snell not happy. Not happy with himself, not happy with the home plate umpire. But if you're hoping and begging that the home plate umpire is going to have your back, you're going to be waiting a long time. Enjoy it while it lasts, because I think in 5 years there will be no home plate umpire. Rage is the best. I was just listening to Rage at the gym yesterday. That's all I listen to at the gym. And catches the inside of the strike zone. So 3-1 to Rave. And they're going to go and try to steal. And the steal is successful. A steal from second to third. Tolbert's got some wheels, dude. It was not even close. He was there by like 2 steps, even though he head first slid in there. Bro. He's fast enough where he could steal home almost. Especially the way that Snell didn't really hold it. And Rave swings and misses at this one. The 9th strikeout for Blake Snell. Welcome back to California, Alaska. A nice way to welcome you back. So, still only 1 out. And a runner in scoring position at third base because of aggressive base running. And a great job by Tolbert, really. The guy's got flamethrowers come out the back when he's running on the base paths. Isbell starts with an 0-1 count. And that one's fouled back for an 0-2 count. So Jeff's dad got him. Lifted truck. My first car was a 74 Dodge Dart with rust on the hood. Put me down. Bench seats. But I was grateful to have it, honestly. And my grandfather showed me that thing had some pick-me-up. And Isbell's facing 2 strikes. Could this be the 10th strikeout for Blake Snell? And we're going to find out in a second here. Yes, it is. Holy smokes. Wow. I was high, as you can see, but effective nonetheless. And Animated Charlie's been busy tonight. I know my family's hilarious. You should see him in person. RC McWonderland, guys. This is our most loyal follower at this point, and we'll always remember that. In fact, we would give her an invite to Joshua Tree if she was in town and we were camping, because she'd see really how hilarious you all are. Call her Alaska, because that's where she's been until today or yesterday. Just moved back to California. And Lofton swings and misses, and the count's 1-2. And the fans at Dodger Stadium, you can hear it on the broadcast, are up on their feet cheering for Blake Snell. So sorely missed. And hoping for an 11th strikeout. And this one is fouled back, and Lofton stays alive. Lofton's 0 for 2 tonight. His batting average is .247. Don't forget, there's a runner at third threatening. And the pitch from Snell swung on and grounded to Mookie Betts. Mookie picks it up, throws it first, and danger averted. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 5th, and thanks to some clutch pitching and 10 strikeouts from Blake Snell, the Dodgers are coming up with a lead still. Nope, no lead. A tie, 1-1. We are set. Start the bottom of the fifth with Alex Call, the speedy youngster, coming in. And yes, my daughter just came into the chat. Oh, I love that, Faithy. I don't know what your brother's excuse is. Yeah, it was Caesar. It was Julio, I think, was the one that said, Deb, whenever I go to your house, somebody's sleeping on the couch and somebody has their shirt off. And the somebody was not Debbie. It was Troy and I. Like, I think we took turns. Either sleeping through the heat or just tolerating it. You did. You did not want to sit on that couch for very long. All right, so Alex Call is up. He's the 8th batter. And he's 0 for 1 tonight. He's batting .244. And he fouls that one off, and the count is 1-2. Faith still owes me. I have empty spaces at this house. And Julio is about to come in any minute now. But Faith, what you owe me is you need to paint something. I have an open space over the oven that you need to paint. Waka facing Call. And this one is grounded to shortstop. Actually, yeah, no, to the short. And thrown to first, even though Call could leg it, man. I mean, it's going to put pressure on people because he can roll. And that's going to bring up the 9-hitter, the catcher, one of our topics of the night. Ben Rortvedt. He was 0 for 1, and he's batting a meager .200, although he hasn't played a whole lot this year. What? Sprinkler on the roof? I don't remember sprinkler on the roof. Was that one of the things we did out of desperation with no air conditioning growing up? I believe you if that's what you remember. And it's understandable if I don't, because I probably blocked that out. Rortvedt gets jammed on the hands there and fouls it off. Our mother is not coming into the chat tonight because it's a little late for her. She lives in Delaware, 3 hours ahead, and she regretfully sends her regards. Probably better she didn't come into the chat and see all the trauma that we're reliving from our childhood. It wasn't that bad. It was good times. And today's generation, I feel bad for them because there's a lot of stuff they deal with that we never had to. There's also some things that we did and we persevered through that gave us tools for life that they don't have to deal with either. So I would never want to be a young person growing up today. No way. Ben fouls that one off and stays alive, 1-2. Yeah, Alaska, I don't know. It's not just because I'm biased, Alaska, as Ben fouls that one off too. But my mom's a pretty amazing person. She would just chuckle. She would just take it in stride. And Ben Rortvedt check swings on an inside pitch. And goes down, strike 3. And that brings up you-know-who. No, Wonderland is not. No. Wonderland is one of our faithful subscribers. But if we can find, if somebody knows how to get a hold of Ricky, in fact, when Caesar, when Julio comes in, we want to share this. He should share this broadcast with Ricky and see if we can snag him as Shohei Ohtani grounds out to first base. And at the end of 5, the score is 1-1. You know, I've been a little bit lazy. Thanks for coming in, Jeff. Appreciate it. Another old man. He's got to get his beauty sleep. If somebody could look it up and tell me, maybe Ro knows this already, whether, I'm assuming Bobby Witt Jr. is the son of Bobby Witt, who played in the majors for, I believe, the Angels. But no, Alaska. My mom doesn't do embarrassing stories really. She's nice. That one is fouled back. Witt is 1 for 2, and he hurt Snell earlier with a single. Nice, Deb. Thanks for doing that. I don't think I'm friends with him on Facebook, but honestly, to be fair, like I don't use Facebook to chat with people. This one is grounded to short, and Witt ill-advisedly swung at a ball that was way low, golfed it, and all he did was just get himself out. But we have no complaints about that. You know, one of the great things about Blake Snell tonight is the fact that not only does he have 10 strikeouts, and he's only given up 1 run, but needless to say, he's going deep into this game, and he's only pitched 75 pitches. And that's the perfect recipe for what the Dodgers need right now. And he starts Caglianone with a strike. Gosh, and he chases that one that bounced in the dirt. And, you know, this is part of how he hit a home run against us, just golfing something that he could barely reach. So can't say that it's a terrible strategy. You just got to kind of do who you are. And the count now is 1-2. That one bounces in the dirt. Now it counts 2-2. I have to confirm this, but I don't know if Caglianone was born in Italy. Needless to say, it's an Italian name. But I heard that he was recognized for his achievement by the Italian government. We are forming a research department, and maybe they'll look that up too. But lately, research has been focused on the history behind tattoos. And that one is line to center field. Andy Pajes makes the catch no problem. I got my first henna tattoo in the last week. Been growing as a person, trying new experiences. That's one. Sent a picture of it to my children today. Only one of my children responded. I won't say who didn't. Now Perez comes up, who hit a sacrifice fly that helped the runner tag from third and tie the game up. Perez is 0 for 1. But a productive out, nonetheless, and the only RBI from the Royals in this game. I did not, repeat, did not get a tramp stamp. Pitch to Perez. Very low and swings out of desperation, as most of the Royals have. And Tommy Edman's going to go all the way from second base into shallow center field and call off Andy Pajes to make that catch for the third out of the inning. And that might be it for Blake Snell, because I don't think in his 3 rehab assignments pitching before now he went nearly this many pitches. And if that's it, that's an outstanding outing for him by any stretch, by any measure. And we're about to go to the bottom of the 6th, and the score is still tied. Royals 1 and Dodgers 1. Hey, Adrian's in. Welcome. Boy, if Ricky and Caesar come in, and Tommy. Little dog, yeah. Look at that. I'm telling you though. This is what I'm telling you. So Don's in, Lena's in, Adrian's in. Hopefully Ricky and maybe Tommy and Caesar soon, Julio soon. But that's the power of a class person like my brother. Well, only a couple people know where my henna tattoo is. I mean, relatively public. But the public doesn't give a crap about me walking around. So really the only people that know, it's a very, very small group. So it'd have to be, one of my kids would have to spill the beans. So Freddie Freeman comes up. The bottom of the 6th, which is way too deep to go into a game without scoring a second run. Be interesting to see what Dave Roberts throws out there. Yeah, the body language in the dugout looks like Blake Snell's done, giving a lot of fist bumps and pats on the back and pats who knows where else. But he looks really happy, and that's saying something for Blake Snell, because he's got kind of a resting sad face. And he's got really baggy eyes. And, I mean, I'm not casting shade. I mean, better looking than me. But just his resting face is not one of the perky. He looks dour. I think that's one way to describe Blake Snell. So when he's smiling, as big as he is right now, that's saying something. And he deserves to smile. But we'll see who Dave Roberts brings out there. I like his moves in the batting order. I am not confident with what he does with the pitching beyond the starters, as Freddie Freeman swings and misses for strike 3. Yeah, Troy should get a tattoo for his birthday, even if it's not tonight, before midnight. It'll still count, I think. Oh, if Dave Gallus came in, that'd be crazy. Twist the spoon. Let's twist the spoon. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So 2 away, and unfortunately, this at bat is going, this time at the plate for the Dodgers, going way too quickly. And Kyle Tucker comes up, who once again is in the cleanup spot, but he's 0 for 2 tonight. And he fouls that one back. This pitch on the way, and it is hit to left center field, but caught there by Isbell. Does a nice job getting on his horse and making the 3rd out. And so 2 straight innings now, the Dodgers go 1, 2, 3. And at the end of 6, still tied 1-1. All right, so you saw it. Alex Vesia is coming in, and I like that choice. We're going to have a reliever come in the middle innings. Vesia is near the top of the list as far as my preference. Not that that really counts very much. But Vesia had a good outing the last time he was up there. And he's probably been, along with Enriquez, the best middle reliever for the Dodgers. He's pitched in 52 games this year. Is a 2.88 ERA, 55 strikeouts, 27 walks. But the big thing is that opponents are only batting 146 against him. And his beard is, oh, I don't know. We'll have research and development get on that. I think they're confirming it's at least 5.5 inches. It's hard to get the growth estimates in real time because every day I think he lets it go a little bit longer. But hey, you know what? If you want to be Samson on the front side, whatever works. So the 5-hitter Jensen's up. He's 0 for 1. And Vesia does not start with the most positive outcome. You don't want to be pitching balls early in the count. You want to be pitching strikes and get ahead of them. that one is right on the corner. And Jensen's going to challenge it, but the challenge is unsuccessful. You kind of see right down here. It just caught that corner. It was a good call by the home plate umpire, and so the Royals burn one of their challenges. And this one's popped really high, and it's going to be in between 3 Dodgers. And there's a little bit of confusion about who's going to take it, but Edman backs off this time, and Andy Pajes says, hey, bro, the center field. Last time, took over my territory, let me do my thing. And they do it successfully for the first out of the inning. So now the second baseman, Michael Massey, in the 6th spot, comes up. And he's 0 for 2 tonight. And that one catches the strike zone. And the word is that the San Diego Padres are crushing the team with the best record in all of baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers, 11-1. Brewers are coming into Dodger Stadium after they're done with the Royals in a couple of days. I coached college football last season with a guy from Milwaukee, or from Wisconsin, pretty close to Milwaukee. The nicest guy. Couldn't be any nicer, and super naive. Like, it wasn't even fun messing with him and being sarcastic, because he'd just believe you. And the world needs people like that. As Massey fouls that one off. And Vesia looks home with a suggestion made in the microphone inside of his hat being not to his liking, and he shakes his head and says no. And we'll see if what he really wants to do is going to be successful with a 3-2 count. And it is the right choice, as he throws one right in the strike zone and would have gotten Massey whether he swung or not. And another punch out for the Dodgers pitching staff. So that brings up Tyler Tolbert, who's 1 for 2 tonight. He's batting .318. He hit a double. And was a terror on the bases. Fortunately for the Dodgers, even though he legged that double out right from the time he made contact, then stole third base. He wasn't able to come home because his teammates couldn't bring him home. Early count to Tolbert is 1-1. So Vesia, so far so good. 2 away, and that pitch catches the outside of the strike zone. Now it counts 1-2. All right, Deb. Love you too. That one misses outside. It counts 2-2. Well, then maybe somebody should use AI technology, or AR to be precise, to measure Alex Vesia's beard and give us an estimate. Yes, that one is fouled back and the count remains 2-2. However, I really appreciate our R&D department getting on that and seeing that there is no consensus. Because it's really what LA Press Box is all about. Drilling deep to get the big stories. And this one is called a ball, but Ben Rortvet is challenging. Catcher touches his head and says, no, that's a strike. And it's not. So he's incorrect, and the Dodgers lose a challenge. And hopefully they don't lose this at bat. So full count, 2 outs. And Tolbert's got that open stance, which you can see clear as day, but he sees that one well, thanks to the open stance. Go high and walk him for ball 4. So Rave, the player, not the event, is coming up. 8 hitter is 0 for 2. Now, I'm a little surprised that Tolbert hasn't tried to steal second already. Rortvet had a decent throw down last time, but I don't think he can throw him out. Although Vesia's doing a little better job of holding him probably. So we got to give him some credit for that. Better than Blake Snell did. And 1 or 2 steps makes all the difference. Spin it over here and see what kind of lead he's got. If he's at the cut or beyond it. His right foot is just beyond the cut, so not a big lead. Vesia is definitely looking at him, and that one catches the strike zone. Nice pitch on the lower inside corner. And now the count's 1-2. Another night of anemic run production from the Dodgers up until this point. And Vesia trying to keep them even with the Royals right now. Throws to first. Keep Tolbert in check. Like that move. And the next pitch on the way, and Tolbert was stealing there, so they had some kind of a tell and knew it was coming. But whether it was a steal and an accidental fly ball or a hit and run, either way, Andy Pages makes quick work of that one, and 3 away. And we go to the 7th inning stretch, and the game is still tied 1-1. As you just saw, Waka 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 is still in there. And he's going to face Max Muncy. Dodgers with only 4 hits in this game, and the Royals with 3. Pitch to Muncy is hit very deep. It's going to be in right center, and it's going to be caught just short of the wall for the first out. Got just a little bit underneath it. And one away, leading to Mookie Betts coming up, who is the only Dodger responsible for us having a score tonight on our side of the ledger. 1 for 2 with a solo home run. And that one misses for a ball. And he swings at this one and lines it to left center. And I think it's going to roll all the way to the fence. And it does. And Mookie Betts is already slowing down as he gets to second base for a stand-up double. And doing a little extra Freddy. I didn't know that that was called the Freddy. I just called it the Dodger dance until our R&D department got on that and informed me. So needless to say, they need a raise soon. And this is the only time tonight, the bottom of the 7th inning, that the Dodgers have had a runner on in scoring position. All right, happy birthday, brother. Oh, Caesar just came in. Just in the nick of time, as that one's low to Tommy Edman. Oh no. Yeah, be safe. Be safe, Caesar. What kind of weather you got? Is it raining in Arizona? That one catches the strike zone. I know you can get lightning and thunderstorms and stuff pretty quick. Although I don't know what part of Arizona you're in. You're always in your car driving from restaurant to restaurant. Ooh, that one backs up Tommy Edman. That was coming right at the whiskers. And that one just misses. And Yemen walks in, and the next one is a strike, but he's going to challenge it. But the Dodgers' last challenge at risk. Although I'm okay with this, with a runner in scoring position, getting in the later part of the game, later third. The challenge is unsuccessful. So we have no more challenges. So Waka delivers to Edman and drives it deep, almost exactly where Max Muncy hit it. And Mookie's going to tag up, and he's going to go to third. And now he's going to be even closer to scoring. But it's going to be up to Alex Call to do something with this situation, because there are 2 outs. Oh, bad storms. Yeah. Yeah, be safe. Be safe, Caesar. Appreciate you. Troy, appreciate you too. A couple people reached out to Ricky T. That would be the absolute double backflip, as if Ricky T came into the chat. I haven't talked to him in decades. So Alex Call comes in. And swings at the first pitch and doesn't look very good doing so. And the early count to him is 0-1. Boy, oh boy, I'm going to go back to our poll here in a second and let some more people vote. Because we're getting close to finding out how this game's going to end. And everything's still on the board as that one brushes back Call. Our poll question is, how does this game end? But 1 in the chat if you think it's going to be a Dodgers comeback. 2 in the chat if it's Dodgers hold on late with a lead. 3 if it goes to extra innings, which it could at this point. Or 4 in the chat if you think the opponents are going to win. And that one misses inside, and the count's 3-1. And nope, not Shohei Ohtani. Sorry, he's not on deck. He's in the hole. Actually, the catcher, Ben Rortvedt, is on deck. And that one catches the strike zone, and now it's full count with 2 outs. And a runner at third. So big, big moment for the Dodgers here. And that one's fouled off. And so far, everybody said 2. All the votes are for 2. Dodgers hold on. At this point, they're not in a position for a comeback. Number 3 could be the case. Going to extra innings. Or, dare I even speak it out loud, the Royals win. I'm not one of those people that's superstitious, though. If I have any superstition, it's about not being superstitious. So 3-2 is the count. Alex Call with 2 strikes. With 2 outs. And he makes contact at this one. It stays fair inside of first base. That's going to score the runner. And Alex Call's going into second with a head-first slide. His helmet comes off. The 3D doesn't show it. And he's got his slick headband on. And does the Freddy. Wow. Awesome. Way to go, Speedy Alex Call. What a clutch play. He's got a blue headband on with white stripes. Oh, that was huge. Huge. Dodgers go up 2-1. And that is not a Dodger going to the mound to start a fight. That's just the charming aspect to the 3D glitch that I'm sure will not be around for much longer. Which also gives us these impromptu slam dances. This is a good one. I like this. They're really mixing it up in the 3D. What? Anthony Banda is known for a backpack. Backpack note. A back piece is a tattoo of a backpack on his back. Wait, he's saving a space for like a World Series ring tattoo? Oh, that's a boss move right there. That is a boss move. Holy smokes. Yes! R&D comes through again. Guys, the word's got to get out. You got to share this link. You got to subscribe. You got to do all the things and hit all the buttons. Because once the world knows about our R&D department, we'll all be rich. And I'll give all the money to everybody. I don't need the money right now. I just need Charlie. I need to be close to the beach and the mountains. And Teoscar Hernandez is coming in as a pinch hitter. And drives this one into left center. And the speedy Alex Call. Hell no, they're not going to throw him out. Are you kidding me, dude? Look at him. Although I'd love to see him slide just to see that bandana again. And Teoscar Hernandez is doing the Dodger dance, a.k.a. Freddie. Huh? What? Oh, so they actually call it the Dodger dance? No? Oh, neither one of them. The Freddie or the what? Boy, oh boy, huge job by Teoscar Hernandez. And what a professional. He did not get the start tonight and was replaced by Kyle Tucker last night at about the same point in the game. And that was the right move. This is what Dave Roberts does a great job of knowing who to sub in the batting order when. And he does the same thing and has an even bigger moment than Kyle Tucker did when he got replaced last night. Because Kyle Tucker had a huge at-bat and he walked. Then Max Muncy brought him around. Tonight, Teoscar gets a double. Brings in Alex Call. I like Alex Call. There's definitely some positive there. It's not like Dalton Rushing, where Dalton gets a little bit cocky. And I would never wish injury on anybody, but Dalton Rushing is done behind the plate for the year. This is why we have these two, what do we call them, journeyman catchers that we traded for right before the deadline. But just hoping. I wouldn't say praying, because I don't pray for success. I think that's just, I feel like that's too much of an imposition on God. Pray that I've always prayed for, like, help me to do the best that I possibly can. But definitely hoping that Will Smith is able to rejoin the Dodgers later while these guys fill the hole. And I like their demeanor, honestly. But huge job by Alex Call. And he's done that in a couple of spots this year. And his average is not terrible. I mean, it's higher than Mookie Betts' actually. Like 250 something. And as you've seen, he's got speed too. So now Shohei Ohtani comes up with Teoscar Hernandez on second base. Ohtani's had a very quiet night. And swings at the first pitch, which is a little bit inside, but they're able to pick it up and record the out. So Ohtani, once again, fruitless at the plate. But an exciting inning nonetheless. And at the end of the seventh inning, the Dodgers now are in the lead 3-1. And as you just saw, Kyle Phillips is coming in to face Isbell. And for those hundreds, nay, thousands of people clamoring in the chat to know what my henna tattoo is and where it is, I don't think you're going to find out, because knowing my daughter, the fact that she's working, she came in for a quick second and she's long gone. All right, 3-1 ball game. And we go to the top of the 8th, and if Phillips does a good job, and he's pitched in 13 games and has a 4.22 ERA, I presume if he gets through this inning, and he doesn't, they're going to go to Tanner Scott in the 9th inning and close this thing out. I hope it's not Edwin Diaz, although it's been Edwin Diaz the last few games. He did a nice job last night. I doubted him. I didn't think it was the right move. And I know he's got a track record. But we'll see. Just want to get through this inning without giving up any runs. And a good start from Phillips at this point with 1 strike. And a foul back for the second. One is fouled to the left side, and the count remains 0-2. No outs. Phillips trying to get the first of the last 6 outs of the game, and does that with a beautiful sweeper that comes in the back door and just catches the upper far corner of the strike zone. So now the one hitter, Lofton, who's over 3, comes up. Starts him with a strike. And that one misses high. The catcher pulls it down, tries to frame it, but I mean, does that influence anybody at this point? Well, no, it's not going to influence the computers, but I mean, I just don't see the point of doing that. Catch the ball outside the strike zone and then pull it in, and then have the umpire, expect the umpire to go, oh, okay, yeah, that was a good pitch. So silly. This pitch from Phillips is in there, and the count is 2-2. Pitch is a ball, check swing, but they appeal to the first base umpire, and hopefully you can see there with his arms going out that he did not go. I'll show you how it looks with the Charlie animation. Looks like that. And the next pitch is fouled off. So the count's 3-2 with 1 out. Boy, it sure looked like he went on that check swing. This one also doesn't go on the check swing. At least that's the ruling. And Lofton gets walked by Phillips. So Bobby Witt Jr. comes up, who's 1 for 3. He has a single and a run tonight. And he represents the tying run. And Lofton is one of those guys that's fast. That's one of the reasons they have him slotted at the top of the lineup. I would not be surprised if he tries to steal. Boy, that was a big jump. You could see that over there on the 3D. This is the thing we can do that they can't do on the broadcasts. He's stepping right out to this cut. As you can see, his right foot is right at the edge where the arc disappears. And then a big jump as the ball is released. Takes 2 big hops to his right. And it's a little easier to get a jump and a big lead when you have a right-handed pitcher whose back's to you. Obviously, a left-handed pitcher can look straight at you. And this is one of the challenges that all pitchers have, but especially right-handed pitchers. When there's a runner at first that's speedy, and that is once you decide to go home with the ball, do it quickly. So that if he does try to steal, the catcher has a chance to get the ball quickly and throw down a second. And Witt steps out of the box. So 0-2 is the count. And Witt actually drives this ground ball into right field, and Lofton easily goes from first to third. I would switch. Get a different pitcher in there. And the pitching coach is coming out. Can't see it with the 3D. But Dave Roberts isn't, so that means they're going to leave Phillips in there. And the guy who's been torn us up, I don't know if it's Jack or Jacques Caglianone, rumored to be honored by the Italian government for his success, is coming up with 1 for 3 on the night, including a single. Had an even bigger night last night. Definitely has home run power. Showed that last night. It's a big, big moment with the tying run at first base. And it looks like Jack Dreyer is warming up in the bullpen, who gave up a home run last night to see the lead evaporate when he came in the 8th inning. That is not the catcher. That is just 3D transition. And now we're going to get the real deal up there as he looks at Phillips throw the first pitch way outside for ball 1. Now, the thing that's good, if there's a silver lining about a runner being at first with 1 out, is that it potentially turn 2 and have a double play save you as he swings and misses at the second pitch. Phillips wearing number 59. And the next pitch on the way. And he swings and pokes it just past the third baseman, bringing home the second run of the game. Yeah, I know. Nobody listens to me, but that's okay. I'm used to it. It's the life of a teacher. least in high school. College with adults, completely different. So yeah, leave Phillips in there. Let him give up a hit and a run. Which brings us to our poll. So far, this is not it. 100% have said that they think the Dodgers will hold on for the victory. If you have not voted in the chat, do that now. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the Dodgers will come back after being down. That would mean that they'd have to give up the lead. 2 if the Dodgers hold on for a victory. 3 if it goes to extra innings because there's a tie at the end of the ninth. Or, God forbid, number 4 in the chat if you think the Dodgers are going to lose this game. So far, everybody's voted throughout the night for number 2. Phillips starts Perez with a strike. And misses with the next pitch. And as you can see in the top left corner of your screen, our command center shows you what the count is and how many outs there are and how many people are on. As you can see, it's 1-1 with runners at first and second and only 1 out. Swung on and missed for strike 2. And that one misses low for ball 2, 2-2. Price Charlie is not stressed during this game. He's been asleep throughout most of it. Just saying something. Maybe he had too much to drink. Took him to a bar earlier. As Ronnie Witt Jr. gets a huge jump. There was no way that anybody, there was nobody even in position to hold him. The catcher couldn't have thrown down because you can see there's nobody there at third base. Everybody's completely shifted over. But Perez fouled that one off, and that saved the Dodgers bacon. Wow, huge jump. And I would say there was a miscommunication there. Because Perez swung at something that was not in the strike zone. Next pitch, actually not. No, Phillips is looking at Ronnie Witt Jr. Saying Ronnie Witt Jr. Somebody that I coached, believe it or not. Bobby Witt Jr. Because, of course, needless to say, we all know now he's a threat to run. And after he pitches that one to Perez, Perez fouls it off. So the count remains 2-2. Next pitch on the way from Phillips to Perez, and it's grounded into left field. And Ronnie Witt Jr., keep saying that, Bobby Witt Jr. gets around and scores with 0 problems. He didn't even have to slide. It's your fault, Dave Roberts. It's your fault. Told you a couple of batters ago to get him out. So now we're all tied. I don't know if that changes anybody's vote. But looks like Jack Dreyer's about to come in. So opponents have batted 202 against Jack Dreyer. And he's got some work ahead of him. Trying to get the communication system to connect. It's not connecting. But there's only one out. And runners at first and second. As the Royals have just tied this game up. And as you can see, there's just a clump of 3 humans trying to figure out technology. And it looks like they're going to be able to do it. And we're going to be able to get to work here. I don't know what that symbol is, Alaska. So Dreyer set to face Jensen, who's 0 for 2. In the 5th spot, and only batting .224 this year. First one, this is high. And apparently, the word is that, yeah, Lame Roberts is right, Caesar. Your mom is 100% right. Lame Roberts. My gosh. I need to sit down and watch some baseball with her, but it's going to be a while before I drive to Arizona again. And this one is hit deep to center field, and it goes to Andy Pages. He makes the catch. And then as Caglianone is tagging up, he's going to be waved home because Andy Pages dropped the ball trying to exchange it from his glove to his hand and throw it in. So an error by Andy Pages, the first-year All-Star, leads to what is now a deficit of 1 run. And Lame Roberts, aptly named, drops his head. So we started this inning being up 3-1. Now down 4-3. Hit it deep. And so hopefully you could see it on the 3D. Drove Andy pretty deep, not quite to the warning track. And he's hanging his head in shame right now. If I clicked on his figure, you'd see his head down and just like shaking his head. And it made a good catch. And then Jack, or Jacques, however you pronounce it, saw that. You could see that on the 3D too, where he went back to tag up. And Andy was in a hurry to try to throw to third or get the ball in. And carelessly dropped it. And of course, the third base coach, the person right over, I'll show you in a second after you see this pitch to Massey. It's in there for a strike. Well, they don't show it 3D. There's a dude that stands right over here next to third base and another one over by first base. Those are the first and third base coaches. He saw that the whole way and waved him around. So Michael Massey in the 6th spot is 0 for 3 tonight. Fouls a pitch off and the count's 0-2. I just learned something new. Alaska. Next pitch on the way from Dreyer. And swung on a miss, beautifully placed. Lower inside corner of the plate for strike 3. So that might be, I don't know, the 13th or 14th strikeout that the Dodgers pitching staff has delivered tonight. But it's all about the W. And right now, we're in trouble. And honestly, 3 runs is not enough to get it done. You got to score 5 or more on a regular basis, especially with this lineup. I'll show you again where the Dodgers rank. Not that that means much of anything. Stretch this out for you. So on the right-hand side, you see the Royals pitcher, the Royals defense, and then below that, the Dodgers offensive ranks. They're number 1 in batting average at 261. They're number 2 in OBP at 337. Number 2 in slugging percentage. Number 2 in OPS. Runs. All over the board. Outstanding. But lately, no bueno. And not good enough. Now, of course, the game's not over. And at this point, if you had voted Dodgers comeback number 1, you'd be saying, all right, well then maybe I have a small crystal ball at my behest. And I'd be happy with that, needless to say, because it would mean a Dodger win. So now, Freddie Freeman comes up, who was moved up 1 spot in the lineup tonight to number 2. He and Andy Pages switched. And Freddie has been held hitless tonight so far. He's over 3. And the early count to him is 1-1. And the Dodgers fans at Dodger Stadium, a little bit of shock right now. Very quiet. As Freddie fouls that one off, and the count's 1-2. Next pitch on the way. Fouled again. Freddie, as usual, battling up there, taking his hacks. Ugg is right. My goodness. That one's a check swing. Would have been a strike, it looks like. Freddie got a piece of it and stays alive. Other foul, Freeman. Cruz is finding it difficult to get Freeman out. Next pitch on the way. And Freddie chases one, and it's way low. And strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. So we're in the bottom of the 8th, and the tables have turned on the Dodgers. And don't look now, but they're down to their final 5 outs. Andy Pages up, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Looks at the first pitch inside for a ball. This is Freddie Freeman's 4th 3-strikeout game of the season. It's pretty good, all things considered. That pitch misses, and the count's 2-1 to Andy. Next pitch misses outside. Now the count is 3-1. Pajes looking for something he can drive. But it's not that. That is well low, and it's ball 4. So Andy Pajes draws a walk. And with him going to first base, Kyle Tucker comes up with 1 out. Tucker is 0 for 3 tonight. Tucker's had a few home runs over the last couple of weeks. Great to catch one here. And he absolutely belts one, but he was way ahead of it. And it goes up to the second deck, but curling foul, so the count's 0-1. Next pitch, way inside for a ball, counts 1-1. Tucker batting .241 on the season. That one's inside, but Tucker turns on it and fouls it pretty much the same spot, or at least the same part of the field, but much lower. This one is grounded to second, picked up by Massey and flipped to short. They won't try to turn 2. Too much work, too hard a spot. But 2 away and a new runner at first, leading Max Muncy to come up. Will we get some heroics 2 nights in a row from Max Muncy? First pitch, he looks at it inside for ball 1. Next pitch on the way, and way inside, and grazes Max Muncy's right elbow. He's got padding there. It didn't hurt. And I wonder in this modern age why you don't have more guys like Barry Bonds that just stand there and allow themselves to get hit on the pad. But either way, he's on, and with 2 outs, there's runners at first and second for Mookie Betts, who's 2 for 3 tonight. And he looks confident. I mean, he has a reason to be confident. He had a solo home run. But then, last time, he hit a double and went into second base easily. They couldn't even attempt to throw and try to tag him out with any seriousness of purpose. And he looked like really confident after that one. So really, all things considered, this is the guy tonight with the hot hand that I'd want to come up in this situation. So Cruz with the first pitch to Betts. And he lines it to right field. It's going to be down for a base hit. And they're going to send Tucker home. And he's going to cross the plate for a tie game. Mookie Betts delivers again. A single on top of a double and a solo home run. And the Dodgers tie it up with 2 outs. Great job, Mookie. He just saw what he liked for the very first pitch and attacked. And now Tommy Edman comes up with 2 outs still, but now runners at the corners. And looks at the first pitch inside for ball 1. New game, everybody. Edmonds batting .279 on the season, and now the Dodgers fans come alive. Not just cheering for what they've seen, but chanting, "Let's go Dodgers." Next pitch just clips the outside of the strike zone. Count is 1-2 to Tommy Edman. Next pitch on the way from Cruz to Edman, and it's grounded to short, but it's going to be no problem for Witt Jr. Picks it up, steps on the base, and 3 away. But some clutch hitting late for the Dodgers, and you hope this is leading to a new trend that goes back to last night and even really 2 of the last 3 games where they've had victories. But at the end of 8, it is a new game with the Royals 4 and the Dodgers 4. So we go to the top of the 9th, and Edgardo Enriquez comes in, who's a flamethrower for the Dodgers, and he's going to face Tyler Tolbert. Eight hits for the Dodgers. And, ooh, is it 6 or 4? Yep. 6 for the Royals. Opponents are batting .180 on Enriquez. He has 50 strikeouts with 22 walks. And the first pitch on the way to Collins is in there for a strike. 95-mile-an-hour cutter. Enriquez can throw as fast as 103-mile-an-hour fastballs. And really, that change in speed is what baffles some hitters. As Collins pops this one way up high, and Max Muncy makes the catch in foul territory for the first out of the inning. So the 8th batter, Rave, is coming in, who's 0 for 3. Blake Snell struck him out twice. 2 of Blake Snell's 10 strikeouts tonight. Really threw a gem. Dodgers pulled him when he got in the upper 70s as far as pitch count. And that's wise. I mean, he just returned from 3-month absence. And really couldn't have expected him to pitch much better. that one misses high, and the count's 1-1 to Rave. Rave's batting .244. And he swings and misses at that one. That was a little bit too early. And he pulled his head too. One-two pitch to Rave. Well high and outside. Counts 2-2. That one is fouled off. One out in the top of the ninth. This one is grounded to second base, but they're going to say that he grounded it foul. Oh, wait, no. He hit it. So when he hit it into the ground. And then his shoe before it rolled into fair territory. And so that's a dead ball. So 2-2 count. And this one just blows it by him for strike 3. Now Isbell's coming up, who's 0 for 3 and has struck out all 3 times. Gardo Enriquez delivers to Isbell, who this time actually makes contact. Flies it to right field, but Kyle Tucker is going to be able to run underneath it and make the catch. And 3 away. We're about to go to the bottom of the ninth with the score tied. And the Royals 4, Dodgers 4. And very quickly, just want to show you how the Dodgers have rung up all kinds of Ks tonight. That one looks like it already registered. So 10 strikeouts from Blake Snell. Then 1 from Vezia, 1 from Phillips, 1 for Dreyer, and 1 for Enriquez. 14 strikeouts. So Pearson comes in, and he's going to face Alex Call, who the last time up hit a double and also scored. double scored a run. So he was involved in 2 of the 4 Dodgers runs so far tonight, and it's a great thing to see from young talent for the Dodgers. One for 3 overall tonight, and it's interesting that he got the start in left field. First pitch catches the edge of the strike zone, and he disagrees, but he can't challenge it. The Dodgers don't have any. In that one, there's nothing to challenge, and call is already in the hole, 0-2. That one misses for ball 1, 1-2. Pearson pitched for the Astros before joining Kansas City Royals, and Call swings and misses at that one away with a strikeout. And the Dodgers are making a substitution now, bringing in Hunter Fiducia as the new catcher for Ben Rortvedt. And Hunter is batting .237 this season with 2 home runs and 12 RBI. That one misses outside for ball 1. Next pitch on the way from Pearson, swung on and missed for strike 1. This one's grounded to second base, but Massey picks it up quickly and throws to first for the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Shohei Ohtani, who's 0 for 4 tonight. And 3 of those at-bats, he swung on the first pitch and put it into play. So maybe he wants to be a little more patient and see a pitch or two before he swings this at-bat. Love for the Dodgers to get a walk-off home run here. And he looks at that one. So the count starts 0-1. Ohtani, top 20 in every batting category in baseball. Looks at that one for ball 1. Pitch on the way. And blasted to the right, but foul, and now the count's 1-2. Next pitch on the way from Pearson, and swung on and missed at a high pitch at that. And Ohtani's 0 for 5. Bad night at the plate for Shohei Ohtani. Happens to the best of them. But we're going to go to extra innings, everybody. right, we go to extra innings, and nobody guessed that one, but it was an option on the poll. Appreciate you still being here. And I'll be here, even though I have jury duty tomorrow. I got to get up and drive to the heart of San Diego City, which is not where I live. And Seth Halverson comes up. Now, one of the nice things about extra innings these days, one of the many modern changes, like the pitch clock to speed up the game, being able to make a challenge and using robots to kind of be more accurate, is when you go to extra innings, as you'll see here in a second, so that the games don't last forever. You start now with a runner at second base. You basically, every time you come up now for each team, start with a runner in scoring position. Now you can see him pop up out of the dirt back there as Halverson throws his first pitch to Lofton, and it gets fouled back for a strike. Good times. That's right, Alaska. Good times. And our number of viewers just went up a little bit because people are going, what the heck, man? Woo, that one backs off Lofton. Woo, woo, woo. That was not on purpose. Halverson's only pitched 19 innings this year. I'm glad that Tanner Scott has not made an appearance yet. I'm glad that we've saved him for a true closer role if we're in that position. And that one misses low, so the count's 2-1. The next pitch on the way to Lofton, and he lofts it to right field, and this is going to be a situation where the runner's going to try to tag, and he does tag from second to third after sliding head first in safe. And so now the Royals have a runner even closer and in scoring position at third with one out. And Bobby Witt Jr. coming up, who's 2 for 4 tonight. Last night he was 0 for, but tonight he has a single and he scored 2 runs. One misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Pitch on the way from Halverson, and in there at 100 miles an hour. Fastball connects and evens the count, 1-1. Pitch on the way. Just misses low and outside for ball 2, 2-1. So 1 away. And the pitch to Witt Jr. gets flied to right. Oh, this is going to be close. Kyle Tucker's going to make the catch as he runs up. And the runner tags, but goes back to third base with a good job by Kyle Tucker coming up, making the catch, wheeling around 360 degrees and throwing it to home quickly on one bounce. So 2 away now. Runners at first and third. Salvador Perez is 1 for 3 tonight. He had a sacrifice fly that scored a runner and also a single. So he's got 2 RBI. Halverson gets this guy out. The meat of the Dodgers lineup is coming up. 2, 3, and 4. Freddie Freeman, Andy Pages, and who's the cleanup tonight? Cleanup is Kyle Tucker. Now, because we're in extra innings, you get a reload, if you will, like playing pinball or something. And so each team gets a challenge for extra innings. This one swung on and missed, and now the count's 0-2. The crowd is chanting, "Let's go Dodgers." Runners at first and third, 2 outs. And this one's kind of a check swing to second base. It should be no problem by Tommy Edman throwing out a guy who's pretty big. And it isn't. And so the Dodgers hold the Royals. And they keep the score even. So we're about to go to the bottom of the 10th inning. With the Royals about to face the meat of the Dodgers lineup. So far tonight, 2 people that really did the most damage in a good way for the Dodgers. First, Blake Snell with a start after being out due to injury for 3 months, coming in and striking out 10 Royals. And then Mookie Betts hit a solo home run. That was the Dodgers' only run for several innings. Hit a double later to score somebody, and then a single to score somebody else. So Mookie Betts definitely the scoring engine for the Dodgers. Blake Snell put him in a great spot before the Dodgers defensively allowed the Royals to climb back into this one. The best Dodgers batters have not done well. Shohei Ohtani's 0 for 5 tonight. But he's going to be the runner at second base for Freddie Freeman. And Freddie scored Shohei from that position twice yesterday. Even though Freddie struggled tonight, they're going to walk him right away. And they're going to pitch to Andy Pages. So Andy batting .271 on the season is 1 for 3 tonight with a single and a walk. And he's one of the Dodgers' statistically best batters with runners in scoring position, which, of course, Shohei Ohtani is in. And if Andy gets a hit, that could be all she wrote for the Dodgers. Fouls the first one off and counts 0-1. For some reason, the 3D is not picking up Shohei. Oh, there now he is. Pops up out of the grass. And this one gets chopped. It's almost like a strong bunt, and they decide to go to first after the pitcher picks up the ball and falls down, getting Andy out. But Andy advances both runners. So now Shohei's at third, Freddie Freeman's at second, and there's only 1 out. And Kyle Tucker coming up, but they decide to instantly walk him. That's another thing that's changed in the modern era, where you don't have to pitch to somebody to walk them. You can just say, go over there. And Max Muncy in a strangely familiar position that he was in last night. Last night, there were 2 outs with bases loaded, and he hit a double to clear him. Didn't clinch the game, but now everybody's on their feet. Bases loaded, 1 out. Hit will win it. And Max Muncy, when the clock hits 10 o'clock, looks at the first pitch for a ball. Just hit a fly ball and let Shohei tag up and win. That's all we got to do. Get it out of the infield. Swings and misses at that one. Counts 1-1. Probably the thought that he has. That's why he swung at a ball that was a little bit high. Next pitch on the way to Max Muncy. And it was outside. Swung and fouled back. And now the count's 1-2. Pitch from Ursig in the dirt. And Muncy does a good job watching it go there. And the count is now even 2-2. So bottom of the 10th inning. Shohei Ohtani on third base. Freddie Freeman at second base. 1 out. And all Max has to do is get a base hit. And he does! He makes contact into right center. It's going to drop. Shohei Ohtani's coming home. And that's the end of the game. The Dodgers, once again, get it done late. And have Max Muncy to thank for a lot of it as the lights flash on and off for the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. Everybody on their feet and clapping. And another close win for the Dodgers, who have now won 3 of the last 4 games. And a big smile, justifiably so, from Max Muncy as he puts this one away. Well worth staying up just a hair past 10 p.m. As soon as he hit it deep, they knew it was over. The center fielder just didn't even run after it because even if he made the catch, it would have been 2 outs and Shohei Ohtani would have tagged up no problem. And could this be the beginning of a little bit of a turnaround for the Dodgers with a couple of stars tonight? The big ones, as we'll show you with our post-game look as Charlie waves goodbye. The biggest stars tonight, Mookie Betts and Blake Snell. Blake Snell had 10 strikeouts, only gave up 1 run, and took it into the 6th inning. And only with about 75, 77 pitches, handed it off to other relievers who gave up the lead, but also collected some strikeouts. I think it was 14 total strikeouts for the Dodgers. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick. Do this one. Do it like this. And I can show you like this without Charlie waving. 10 strikeouts for Blake Snell, as you can see down here. Then Vesia came in with a strikeout. Evan Phillips a strikeout. Jack Dreyer, Edgardo Enriquez, and then Seth Halverson, not a strikeout, but did a really good job with a couple of heaters. Even though a couple of the middle relievers, like you can see over here, gave up some hits. Evan Phillips, most notably, was the person that really was the weak link getting us to the end, and his ERA shows that, 5.73. The Dodgers were able to hang tough, and even though their headliners, like Shohei Ohtani, who was 0 for 5, and Freddie Freeman, who was 0 for 4, did not get it done. The rest of the staff did a good job, and Mookie Betts had a home run, a double, and a single. So 1 hit short of the cycle. And those are the people that really are the headliners, in addition to Max Muncy's clutch hit late. And so as far as the total for the Dodgers, they end up with 9 hits and 5 runs. 1 error on Andy Pages, which gave up a run late, where he made a catch and then dropped the ball as he transferred it from his glove to his hand. And the Royals on 6 hits had 4 runs, no errors. Outstanding defense. But tonight was a special night for everybody that joined us early and was game for the chat that brought back the old neighborhood. That's exactly what we're trying to do here. We're trying to bring together Dodgers fans and people to connect. And so that was a great treat to see people from my old neighborhood and my brother celebrate him on his birthday. And we appreciate everybody that helped LA Press Box have a great experience tonight. We plan to be back tomorrow for another exciting one. It might be 3 in a row with these Royals going back and forth. But that's all for us from LA Press Box, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Tomorrow's going to be the same bat time and channel, and so will the next 2 games after that, when the team with the best record in the league, the Milwaukee Brewers, also come to Dodger Stadium. But first things first, the Dodgers have to try to put away the Royals, and just like that, they're working on a sweep. So we'll see if they're able to do that tomorrow.